All right, so we're gonna do the last two examples, and then you guys are gonna work on the work that says not a quiz on Google Classroom. I forgot to change it, the title, so it's not a quiz for those. In case you guys see quiz, some of you guys freak out. So example 5, we have a quadratic function with an integral coefficients has the following properties. So f at 3 over 2 is equal to 0. X minus 2 is a factor of f of x. And f at 4 is equal to 50. And we want to determine basically the whole function. So we know this is a 0. And we know x minus 2 is a 0 as well. So how would you rewrite 3 over 2 in terms of x?
Minus 3 over 2.
Or 2x minus 3, right? So we would have f of x is equal to a, because we don't know what our a is, times 2x minus 3 times x minus 2. What information in the question do we have to determine our a value? So our point is going to be 4 and 50. So our 4 is our x and 50 is our y. So all we're going to do is sub them into the equation. So we have 50 is equal to a times 2 times 4 minus 3 times 4 minus 2. We got 50 is equal to a times 5 times 2. 50 is equal to 10a. So what do we do to isolate for a? I'm going to divide by 10. And we get a is equal to 5. Which means therefore f of x is equal to 5 times 2x minus 3 times x minus 2. And that would be our f of x for that, for the question. So all the answers you guys are getting is you're just using the information given in the problem. And then we have our last example. So when f of x is equal to mx cubed plus nx squared minus x plus 3 is divided by x minus 1, the remainder is 3. And when the function is divided by x plus 2, the remainder is negative 7. What are the values of n and m? So how would we start this off?
Do synthetic division for both, and then do substitution or elimination. Find m.
Yeah. Well, you technically don't need to do synthetic division because you're already given the remainder. So remember, when it's a remainder, it's just the y value at that x point. Okay. So when it's divided by negative 1 by x minus 1, the remainder is 3. So our point is going to be 1 and 3, right? So f at 1 is equal to 3, which means our point is 1 and 3. So wherever we see y, we're plugging in 3. And for x, we're going to plug in a 1. We have 3 is equal to m times 1 cubed plus n times 1 squared minus minus 1. plus 3. So we got 3 is equal to m plus n minus 1 plus 3. So if we move all the numbers over to one side, what does it simplify to?
N plus n minus.
Or m plus n is equal to what? 1. So this is our first equation. What would we do for f at negative 2 is equal to negative 7? We're just going to sub those numbers back into the equation. So we have f at negative 2 is equal to negative 7. So our point is negative 2 and negative 7. We're going to be using the same idea from our question, from our first point. So we got negative 7 is equal to m times negative 2 cubed plus n times negative 2 squared minus negative 2 plus 3. So what's negative 2 cubed?
4. Negative,
Negative.
-8.
So we get negative 8m plus 4n plus 2 plus 3. And when we move positive 2 and positive 3 over, what do we get?
Negative 12.
Can we divide both sides by a number to make it, to simplify it?
4.
So we're going to divide by 4. And that gives us negative 3 is equal to negative 2m plus n. So we have our two equations. We have 1 is equal to m plus n, and we have negative 3 is equal to negative 2m plus n. So to figure out what m and n is, what are we going to use that back from grade 10? Substitution or elimination. In this case, substitution is easier. Okay. So do you guys want to substitute for m or n on the first one?
N.
We'll sub for n. So n is equal to 1 minus m. So wherever we see an n in the second equation, we're going to plug in 1 minus m. So we have negative 3 is equal to negative 2m plus 1 minus m. Negative 3 is equal to negative 2m plus 1 minus m. Negative 3 is equal to negative 3m plus 1. We're going to move the 1 over, so we get negative 4 is equal to negative 3m. And what do we divide both sides by now? Negative 3. So we get m is equal to 4 over 3. And what would our last step be?
Look that for solve for n.
So we're going to solve for n by subbing 4 over 3 for m. So we get 1 is equal to 4 over 3 plus n. We get 1 minus 4 over 3 is equal to n. What does n give us?
Negative 1.
Negative 1 over 3. So if we were to rewrite f of x again, it would just look like this. So therefore, f of x is equal to 4 over 3 x cubed minus 1 over 3 x squared minus x plus 3. So are you guys fine with remainder and factor theorem? Everything's good? Okay. So what you're gonna do is on Google Classroom, I put up a little worksheet that's titled "Not a Quiz." So work on that. I believe it's 6 to 8 questions, just involving what we did from the first 4 lessons. Okay. So work on that. If you haven't done the homework, work on that as well. Tomorrow we should be ending off Unit 2. And then we're moving on to Unit 3. But like I said, your thinking and application portion of this is going to be next Tuesday. Okay? And you have a quiz on Thursday.
How do we know the answer?
I'm going to take them up tomorrow.